Pro-Trump farmers continue to raise hell over the disaster that is looming for their industry as a result of the president's stupid trade war. Okay, so first, I'm going to show you a video here. This is Kentucky soybean farmer Caleb Ragland, who, again, is a supporter of Trump, voted for Trump, even still supports some of Trump's policies. Here he is speaking with NewsNation last week about the impact of Trump's trade wars.
We're at a crossroads that if we don't get some things moving soon and get some serious trade taking place, we're going to need a financial bridge, or the reality will be the increases in bankruptcies, the loss of many thousands of family farms. It will even be worse with people committing suicide, choosing to end it all. And it's terrible, the things that will result. We are on the verge of a farm crisis due to the rising cost of our production and the declining cost for our products, including our soybeans. And we got to find a new balance.
Gotta find a new balance. So obviously he's still obviously going to be in favor of Trump's I know I said obvious choice, but yeah, he's in favor of Donald Trump's policies, even his trade policies, even the very things that are hurting him and his industry. Okay, and even though he says oh yeah, there are some farmers out there that are thinking about unaliving themselves, because of what's going on. We need a financial bridge. That's a bailout. Okay, why don't you just call it what it is? That's a farm bailout. Okay. Yes, that would be him, the administration just literally handing you billions of dollars because of, oops, we kind of screwed over your markets. Sorry. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Sorry, but we're not sorry. Now, look, again, Ragland is correct. Farmers are absolutely struggling as a result of Trump's tariffs. What isn't mentioned, though, is that these farmers already went through this. I mean, during the first Trump administration, they just did the same thing. Okay, this administration put tariffs on China, and oh my God, where did our markets go? They just kind of disappeared. Oh my God. Oh, great. Yeah. And you'd think they would learn from that first disaster, but they didn't, because once again, the majority of these farmers supported a man that nearly ruined them. So, and again, maybe it is because they got a bailout no, it's not a bailout. It's a financial bridge. Right. Okay. Yeah. Hey, look, he might do it again. Or he might not. So I know there's discussion about oh, well, we should help out the farmers, give them another bailout. But it might not happen. Might not happen. Because Vice President J.D. Vance is out there literally being invested in a company that is buying out distressed farms. These very farms, right? Look, he and Peter Thiel, okay, are invested in AcreTrader. In fact, J.D. Vance invested about $65 grand in AcreTrader. Okay? And so this is, according to his own 2022 financial disclosures to the Senate Ethics Committee. Now, Lisa Graves, the executive director of True North Research, an investigative research group, said, quote, "There's no indication that Vice President J.D. Vance has divested from AcreTrader, and there's every indication that that investment remains in place." Oops. Yeah. So basically, the more farms that go bankrupt, the more that this company, backed by, again, one major Trump donor and Trump's vice president, okay, can scoop up these farms dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. All right? Again, this will have the consequence of turning many of these farmers into, tenant farmers. Okay? They're going to buy these up, this farmland up, and then rent it back out to farmers. So, you know what that makes them? Serfs. Maybe they're making sharecropping great again, folks. That's what the plan is. All right? Not good. Not good at all. But we have more farmer reaction. This time from John Boyd Jr., who was the president of the National Black Farmers Association. Let's take a look.
The president of the United States sold out farmers. He sold us out to Argentina, to his friend. And, it's humiliating that the president is going to this extent, because farmers, for the first time in a very, very long time, have become very outspoken of the president's leadership. Right now, we're at probably our lowest point since the 80s. Farmers are doing that bad. So I don't know what reports the president is watching saying, beef cattle farmers are doing great, America's farmers are doing great. We are not doing great. Farm foreclosures are up, farm suicides are up, farm bankruptcies are up, and all of this happened, I want to mind you, within the last 10 months of this president's leadership, when he came in and started imposing tariffs on China, imposing tariffs on Mexico, imposing tariffs on Canada. China, the number one purchaser for U.S. grown soybeans. Mexico, the number one purchaser for U.S. grown corn. And Canada, where we need all the implements for fertilizer. All of this has happened on the president's watch, and farmers are losing our farms out here, while the president is giving his friend over here in Argentina some money.
Yes, Argentina, make Argentina great again. Look, I love when he points out, he's like, I don't know what reports the president's watching that says that the farmers are doing great. Our president has freaking dementia, okay? He's just making things up, He doesn't know what's actually going on. He doesn't know the reality of the situation. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Look, we're doing $40 billion in currency swaps with Argentina. We're buying their worthless money, okay? And so, that's helping their economy. Which, and not only that, but we're also now buying a whole bunch of beef from Argentina. And in return, they are exporting more soybeans to China instead of, our farmers, because our soybeans not getting bought by China no more. All right. And they're just sitting there rotting in the fields or rotting in the silos. But you know what? This plan actually worked out great for Javier Milei, who just won big time in his country's midterms. So there will be no positive changes in Argentina, okay? And fun fact, only about 67.9% of the people in Argentina, 2/3, turned out. 33% tuned out, okay? Which sounds pretty familiar. Okay, it sounds quite familiar. It looks a lot like our own elections, doesn't it? But look, speaking of Argentina, okay, Boyd then criticized Donald Trump's plan to make Argentina great again.
And what's more offensive is that the president, on top of all this stuff, he wants to buy the beef, as you just said, from Argentina. So you dump on the guys who you already know are struggling. You dump on the guys who you already know that the markets are closed and not taking in soybeans in this country. And you dump on the guys who that are in trouble, that are losing their farms. Guess what? There needs to be a complete farm moratorium in this country. Why is this administration allowing farm foreclosures for a man-made disaster? And people, this isn't putting America first. How many interviews you seen the president do and he says, I'm going to put America's first. I love farmers. Well, the president loves farmers. He needs to stop farm foreclosures in this country under his watch.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And by the way, I just love how he's talking about dumps, right? They're really dumping on these farmers. Yeah, they are.
Big, massive dumps.
There you go. They're taking the big, massive dumps on the farmers, okay? Because he doesn't care about them. He doesn't care about the farmers. He just needed their votes. And they got him. Look, to be fair, maybe Trump will eventually bail him out. Maybe not. Okay. Again, either way, every time a farmer goes bankrupt, you have J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel that cash in. Okay. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure a lot of this never would have happened under Kamala Harris. Let's be fair about that. Okay. Let's be fair about that. That's the reality of the situation. Okay. These farmers, many of them, though, decided, we'd rather vote for a felon who loves doing trade wars because he did it before. And now they're simply having the day that they voted for. Simple as that. Now, I feel terrible for the farmers who did not vote for Donald Trump that are suffering as well as a result of their fellows' bad choices. But there is not a lot we can do now about this, okay? We're all in it. We're all in it. We got full Republican control of Congress, full Republican control of the courts. So, yeah, we're screwed. So, and look, maybe, perhaps we will be a little bit smarter than Argentina and show up in our midterm elections. And, but again, that's of course if Republicans fail to steal it like they're planning on doing. All I can say is we are all in it now. So buckle up and brace for impact. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.